Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Whether this is your first time joining us or you're a returning viewer, I hope this video benefits you in some way. Today I'm going to be talking about how the wattage rating of your charger affects the speed of which that it can charge your battery. So I'm going to draw your attention to a few things here. The first thing you'll notice is that the battery here is a 6-cell LiPo, 22.2 volts. 5200 milliamp is the milliamp rating of your battery here. If you look at your charger, it's set on 6-cell, 5.2 amp charge rate, and draw your attention to the 50 watts per channel. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the amperage setting of your charger will determine how long the battery will charge. 5.2 amp should take about an hour, where if the charger were set lower, it would take longer to charge. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start the charge rate, and you'll notice that even though my setting is set to 5.2 amps, that the charger itself will never reach that amperage rating. So if you'll watch pretty closely here, you'll see your charger will stop at about 2.1 or 2.2 amps. And as this value increases, this number may decrease as your battery charges. That is all related to the wattage rating of your charger. So I'm going to go ahead and move all of this off screen here, and I'm going to show you the math formula on how all of this works. All right, everybody, so what you see in front of you is a blank sheet of paper. I'm going to show you the formula for figuring wattage in an electrical system. So we need this formula first as our base. It's very simple. It is watts equals volts times amps. Now, since we know what the wattage of our charger is and the voltage of our batteries, we need to divide both sides by voltage. The volts here will cancel each other out, and our new formula is watts divided by volts equals amps. Now that we have our mathematical formula for figuring the amperage of our charging system, we're going to get a new sheet of paper here. We're going to take our wattage of our charger, which is 50 watts. We're going to divide this by the voltage of our battery, which is 22.2 volts. And we're going to get our calculator here. So we're going to take 50 divide by 22.2, and that is going to leave us with 2.25 amps. Now, if you remember from the charger, when we started that charger up, that charger had your value set at 2.1 or 2.2 amps. So this is how that wattage is affecting your charging system as far as the speed of which you can charge up your battery pack. Now, if we increase that wattage, so let's say that you upgrade your charger and you went with a 100-watt charger. So we'll take 100, divide by 22.2 volts. We'll figure this again. 100 divide by 22.2. I multiplied. 100 divided by 22.2. That will give us 4.5 amps to charge our battery pack. Now, one thing to note about chargers, and if you take a look at this one, for example, if you'll notice down here on the bottom, it says AC is 300 watt and DC is 600 watt. So AC power adapters are quite expensive, and most chargers will downgrade your charging capabilities because it is a AC charger, and they're trying to maintain the cost of the charger. Now, this is tricky here because this is the total wattage output of your charger. So if we're charging 2 batteries at a time, we are forced to split that value between the 2 chargers. So this is actually only 150 watts per bank. Now, this charger is pretty clever, and I think it's this one here, let's see, in that you can actually do a power distribution in here. So this value will let you change what that power distribution is. So if you wanted all 300 watts on one side of the charger, you can set that here so that you can program this to your liking. Now, a word about batteries. Now, if you look at this battery again here, you'll notice that this battery has capabilities of a 2C charge rate, which means you can take this 5200 milliamp battery, divide that by 1,000, so 5.2 amps, and multiply by 2, and give you 10.4 amps. You can potentially charge this battery at 10.4 amps. But let's do a little math formula on that so that you can see what that actually looks like from the wattage of your charger. So if you remember from before, our wattage of our figuring wattage of our charger is volts times amps. So if we have 22.2 volts, we'll multiply this by 10.4 amps. This will give us a pretty good indication of what kind of wattage we need from our charger. So we would need 230 watts from our charger in order to charge that battery at 10.4 amps. Now, I don't know if you've looked at charger pricing, but this charger right here, that is the 300 watt per side, this charger is expensive. This charger is $199. So to get a charger that will give you this type of charging capability is quite expensive. So I would always recommend that maybe you look at what you're sacrificing in charge time versus what your budget is, and maybe factor that expense into getting a second battery rather than getting a really high-end charger. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope that you have benefited from it in some way. If you have, consider giving me a thumbs up and a subscription, and also don't forget to hit that bell. I've mentioned this in a lot of my videos, that if you want to see those notifications, make sure you hit the bell and do that for all of your subscriptions so you don't miss any new content. Well, thanks again, and I hope to see you in the next one.